Good morning again, everyone, and I would like to remind everyone to please make sure that all cell phones are turned to the off or vibrate position, and also please be advised our city council meetings are broadcast on Comcast Channel 99, AT&T U-verse, and the City of Gaston YouTube channel. This meeting of the Gadsden City Council will now come to order. The chair calls on City Clerk Alvin Nelson for the roll call.
Councilwoman Tolles.
Here.
Councilman Williams.
Here.
Worthy.
Here.
Back.
Here.
Wilson.
Here.
Councilman Cannon is absent today, and Councilman Reed.
Here.
We have a quorum present, and our meeting is open for business. I'm going to ask Brian Harbison to lead the invocation. Please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
And before Mr. Harbison speak, on last month we had Youth in Government, and there was a young lady that was here, Jariah Barkley, and she shadowed Mrs. K. Moore for Youth in Government. Ms. Moore called me. She said a young lady had her life together. She had planned to go to Auburn University and become a nurse, and she passed last week. So we would like to remember the family, and I was also told that about 2 or 3 weeks ago, her father passed. So let's remember the family, Mr. Harbison,
Yes.
as we offer a word of prayer.
Will you pray with me? Almighty God, we come to you and time of sadness this morning. God, for the Barkley family, we pray that you can provide the grace that only you can. We don't have the answers. We certainly don't understand why these things happen, especially to someone as young as Miss Barkley. God, we just pray that you will touch the needs in those families, and that you will provide what needs to be provided. God, we know that you can see around corners that we can't, and we know that you have a reason for everything. And I pray that you'll help us to understand. I pray for your wisdom and guidance today for this council and the important decisions they'll be making. God, thank you for the mayor and his administration. Just pray your knowledge and wisdom for him and his office. And God, we pray for all the business that's going to be taken care of today, and help us to keep our face towards you, and we promise to give you the praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the Educational Recreation Committee, the work session and city council meeting that was held on May 17th.
So moved. Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to approve minutes.
The chair will entertain a motion to ratify payments of accounts for the week of May 13th through the 19th.
So moved. Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to ratify payment of the accounts.
Right. At this time, we have one proclamation. We'd like for Mr. Eric Wright to come forward, please. From the City of Gaston, Alabama, a proclamation. Whereas the mission of the extension is to provide research-based program materials and educational activities to all residents, and whereas extension builds positive relationships with clients, communities, partners, and stakeholders, and whereas extension delivers relevant programming that addresses current societal changes and opportunities, and whereas the extension regional agents, administrative assistants and associates, nutrition educators and specialists, and all work across our community to improve the lives and residents. And whereas the Etowah County Extension Team covers programs such as 4-H, agronomic crops, animal science and forage, commercial, horticultural, community development, families and child development, farm and agribusiness management, financial resource management and workforce development, food safety and quality, forestry, wildlife, and natural resources, home ground, human nutrition, diet, and health, nutrition education, and whereas the entire team works diligently to improve the quality of life, health, and community in Etowah County. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Sherman Guyton, Mayor of the City of Gaston, do hereby proclaim May 2022 Etowah County Extension Month, given to Mr. Eric Wright, I believe, who is the director. So at this particular time, we have another special presentation, and I'd like for Mrs. Deborah Guyton and Mrs. Grace Guyton to come to the front, please. This is something that I learned that so that we can all be clear. It's always the family who make a dedication or commission paintings of the mayors to the city of Gaston. So at this particular time, we like to present the Guyton family on their presentation, after which Mr. Councilman Debrick Williams will be our spokesperson. Can they help?
Got it.
We appreciate you, Mayor. I can't see.
They used his high school graduation picture for that one.
Mayor, I don't know who that good-looking guy is. That doesn't look anything like you. No, that's a beautiful painting, beautiful artist rendering. Elaine Campbell, are you here today? Miss Elaine Campbell, if you don't mind standing up. And Elaine has a special connection with the artist that actually developed that rendering of the mayor. And so if you want to say something, come on up.
Well, you may remember me from being at the museum, and the artist who did this painting is Lisa Price. She's a Georgia fan. I'm sorry, we just had to know that. But she was one of the artists that we had as a guest in Gadsden several times with plein air. And when we first invited her, it was at the invitation of John Graham, who served on the museum board, and they were friends of his. And so we invited an untried artist, and Lisa came, and she did well. And over the years, she came back, and she has made quite a name for herself as an artist in Alabama, in Georgia, and throughout the Southeast. And I'm so glad that Lisa was able to work with Deborah in getting this portrait done. And Sherman, you looked better then than you do now. So it's my pleasure to tell you that although she's a Georgia fan, she's a real pride for the state of Alabama. She wised up and moved to Alabama, so that's a good thing. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
You know, I think it says a lot that Mayor Guyton has been willing to take on this task of being a mayor and an elected official for 16 years, for 4 terms. I probably couldn't get 2 hands to go up of people who would volunteer for that role right now. It is very much trying, and in these trying times, it's even more trying. And we so appreciate you being willing to step up to the plate and offer up your service. Your beautiful family is here. You know, when you first took office, she was 16 years younger. I mean, she was a baby, and now she's a grown lady. And a beautiful young lady, and so it just shows you how time flies. I can remember 12 years ago, after your first term and you being reelected for a second term, I can remember walking in, and of course many of you know that Mayor Guyton was my high school basketball coach my senior year. Okay, so he inherited a team of Gid Riddle's players, and he hit the ground running with us, and we proceeded to beat every team in the city twice that year under his leadership. And to be quite honest, we probably had one of the better teams in the state under his guidance. And all of us have gone on to do what we think are admirable things in terms of our adult lives, but a lot of that had to do with his leadership and his guidance. But when I took office, I'm no fool. I walked into something I had never done before, and that's elected service. And so I listened immediately to 3 people. Mr. Bob Eccles, y'all know Bob was a father to me. So I listened immediately to Mr. Eccles, and I sat at his feet and took it in. I listened to Robert Avery. Robert Avery is an extended member of my family, and I listened to him a lot. But I also listened to Sherman. I also listened to Mayor Guyton. And he gave me quite a bit of guidance. Both he and Frankie Davis over the years have given me quite a bit of guidance. And let's talk about what he's accomplished. He won't say a lot of this stuff, but I will, okay? He inherited a city that was financially in the red by several $1 million. Lisa, am I wrong there? Absolutely not by a long shot. He corrected a debt service footprint that was extremely troublesome. If you know anything about how our debt service was at the time and what we were paying in debt, he partnered with the council and came in, and we restructured our debt service and got it to a manageable level, which gave us the opportunity to start saving and putting money in reserves. We had essentially at that time a non-existent inroad to the Montgomery funding mechanism. So what did he do? He hired Frankie Davis, who used to serve, by the way, as the chief of staff for the governor of this state, which gave us a direct pipeline to funding sources in Montgomery. His administration made the very prudent decision to unravel a residential project near the airport. Now, if you remember the timing of that, okay, it was right before the housing bubble. Imagine where we would be if we were building houses near the airport when the housing bubble burst. Thanks to Sherman's leadership, we got away from that project, and we converted that property to industrial property, and it's allowed us to secure a number of the small industrial projects that we've secured. The Eastern Connector, through his persistence, I mean, and I would even go as far as to say him just being a proverbial pain in the butt to the governor. He has secured a $65 million no-match project, almost unprecedented for this area. And then I could go on and on. I really could. And he's not running again. You know, so these are his accomplishments. Marana Park and the retooling of that park and turning it into a regional centerpiece. The East Gadsden Community Center, the venue, the Riverwalk. Remember what your river front looked like in 2006? Now look at it. We all would complain, me included, would complain about how nothing was done on the river. Can't say that anymore. we've gotten that process started for sure, off to a good start. And then the last thing I'll mention, among other things that I could mention, is the Gadsden State Sports Complex. Stay tuned, because I think you'll all be proud about what you see there. So Mayor, you didn't ask me to say any of that. You didn't, but I'm proud to say it, and we appreciate your service. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna introduce, some of you may not know, everybody should know Miss Guyton, so you'll stand, and since Grace, I call her Grace, she's ready to go to work now. She's finished the University of Alabama, so that's Grace. Thank you all. I wanted to also, I asked Mrs. Queenie to come. And I'm going to, but I asked Miss Queenie to come. She always asked me about Sherman, and she and his mother were very close, and so I asked Miss Queenie to come and to witness what was happening. And would the rest of the mayor, everybody that came, just stand. We appreciate you all for sharing Mayor Guyton with us, and we thank you all for coming. And Mayor, would you like to have something to say?
Yes, I could say. You know, when I was in junior high school, I had to give a 3-minute speech, and I was sweating. I couldn't hardly even get the words out. So I was pretty shy, and I never thought about doing anything like this. But I appreciate all the people who work for the city. They've all been really good to work with. They would tell me what I needed to know and then what I should do sometime, and I always listened to them because they knew pretty much more than I did anyway when I first got here. And I really appreciate all the city workers and the people we have. I don't care what they say, if they don't get the garbage picked up, whatever. Who cares? We're going to get it eventually. So I appreciate all of you being here. It's really a big thrill. Thank you.
All right. Again, we want to make sure that everybody knows this was a portrait that was commissioned by the family of Sherman Guyton. So you don't have to go out here and say the city paid for a picture for the mayor. His family commissioned this, and they are presenting this portrait to the city of Gaston, and we thank you very much for it. And we will continue our agenda for the unfinished business. We have amending a fiscal year budget. This ordinance was presented last week for first reading, and it reflects the receipt of a Bureau of Justice Assistant Grant and appropriate funds related to the purchase of 52 ballistic vests. This is a 50-50 grant, with the city being responsible for $25,350. And the total amount is $50,700. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the ordinance, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
We have items 10 through 16, and this is the time and place as advertised to conduct a public hearing of these ordinances adopting the 2021 edition of 7 different international codes: building, fuel, gas, mechanical, plumbing, property maintenance, residential, swimming pool, and spa. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition? Is there anyone to speak in favor? These 7 ordinances have been presented for first reading, and the council will vote on them next week. Our next public hearing is a resolution on abatement of nuisance on property located at 1423 Armstrong Street in District 1. Calvin Hutchinson and Mildred Hutchinson, Talmadge Wright and wife May Wright, and Mary Wright in care of Mildred Hutchinson being the last known owners. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this? Is there anyone speak in favor?
Yes.
Madam President, I'm Brian Harbison with the Building Department. We filed this case in April of last year. There have been no improvements. There are no permits to improve. And we're asking today for a resolution to abate this nuisance.
The pleasure of the council, I move that we obey.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our next public hearing is a resolution on abatement of nuisance on property at 313 Henry Street in District 3. Harvey Stevens and Barbara Stevens being the last known owners. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition? Is there anyone speak in favor?
Madam President, we filed this case in May of last year. There have been no improvements. There are no permits to improve. And we're asking today for a resolution to abate this nuisance.
What is the pleasure of the council?
Move to adopt. Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Madam President, I do just have one quick question. Brian, I'm only asking this just because it's a brick structure. Any salvageability there with that structure on Henry Street? Is it salvageable?
As far as rehab, we'll look at it.
Okay.
Our next public hearing is a resolution or an abatement of nuisance on property at 2906 Hickory Street in District 6. Jim Ash and Maggie Ash and Doris A. Miller and Billy E. Miller being the last known owners. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution? Is there anyone speak in favor?
Madam President, we filed this case in April of last year. There have been no improvements. There are no permits to improve. And we're asking today for a resolution to abate this nuisance.
What is the pleasure of the council?
Move to abate. Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our final public hearing is a resolution on abatement of nuisance on property located at 2 Perkins Street in District 6. John Higgins, Marie Collins, and others being the last known owners. Is there anyone to speak in opposition? Is there anyone speak in favor?
Madam President, this case involves trash and debris, junk. There's an abandoned vehicle on the property. It is not involving the house. We have been to court unsuccessful in getting it cleaned up. We're asking today for a resolution to allow us to do that. Thank you.
Okay, what is the pleasure of the council?
Move to adopt.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our next item is a resolution awarding bid number 3475 for finished traffic signs. The NAPA coordinator has recommended the bid be awarded to Lytle Enterprise of Ohio, LLC. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our next item is a resolution order awarding bid number 3476 for unfinished traffic signs and posts. The NAPA coordinator has recommended the bid be awarded to Universal Signs and Accessory. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved. Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
The next item is a resolution granting easement to Alabama Power Company. This is to allow service for the Gadsden City High School Athletic Field Addition. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved. Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
This next item is a resolution authorizing agreement with the 5R Design PC, and this is for architectural design service to rebuild the animal habitat barn at Nakalula Falls, and the amount is $34,320. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? I believe the only discussion, this is money that's paid for, by the insurance, am I correct? Okay. Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our next item is a resolution authorizing automatic agreement with Glencoe Fire Department, Atala Fire Department, and Rainbow City Fire Department. This is to make equipment, personnel, and other resources of each fire department available to all other fire departments when assistance is requested. The assistance will be automatic for needs in certain areas. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
New business?
Yes, Madam President, I have two items that I'd like to bring up under new business today in tandem. It's one is a resolution awarding the renovation bid for the venue to Greer Building Contractors in the amount of $1,438,640,000. I'd like to ask that we consider that today, along with an ordinance authorizing TIF funds for these expenditures. So once again, I'd like to ask that we consider these both today.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution and the ordinance today as an item of new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, we have unanimous consent to consider.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution and the ordinance, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt both items.
Any more new business?
Yes, Madam President, I have one. This is a resolution 232 authorizing acceptance of 2020 ADECA CARES Act CDBG CV program funds. Ask for unanimous consent to consider.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today as an item of new business, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Now move to adopt.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, ma'am, this is for the old Elliott School. This is the, oh, you did say that.
Second.
A discussion first.
Discussion.
Yeah, let me do that. Yes, this is monies to take care of the Elliott School program, and we're eventually going to replace it with a wellness center that, I got to say, Johnny Cannon's not here today. I speak for both of us. So this is going to be a beautiful situation for Alabama City.
Okay.
I'd like to also thank Representative Isbell for leading the charge to procure the $400,000 grant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We left out, Gil, I swear, I thought we didn't have a dime. And then all of a sudden here it comes back $400,000. Thank you.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries to adopt.
All right. We have a department report. We have Alabama Cooperative Extension Center. Eric Wright is going to speak with us today.
Well, thank you, and thank you for the proclamation earlier. That means a lot for our office. There's a bunch of educators in our office who couldn't be here today, but in those folders you have with you with our annual report, you also have pictures of them and all their contact information. So what's important about Extension is that we're delivering research-based education in our communities, and it's not traditional education like you might expect in a classroom. It's often in church basements and in community centers, on truck tailgates. But the goal is that we're listening to folks. We're listening to you, we're listening to your neighbors and your friends, and we're tailor-making programs that meet their needs, and we're rolling those back out into the community. We really touch people of all ages. Traditionally, we've been known to reach our agriculture community, but really, our goal is to touch every resident in the community, whether it's our Today's Mom classes that are teaching pregnant women how to have healthy babies and kind of reduce those health risks, to teaching classroom students about Body Quest, which is a nutrition education program, to 4-H, which teaches all sorts of school-aged kids leadership and all sorts of other skills. So all those programs fall under our umbrella. And then we have workforce development programs where we're out with businesses teaching workforce skills. We had our Workforce Academy last year. Was the first one ever, and you guys saw we got an award from the Chamber for that last year for this first ever group of high school students, where we were able to teach them financial management skills and job skills that are going to improve their outcomes for years to come. So we're building community gardens in different public housing communities in different places throughout the community. We've got just so many different broad-based programs to improve the lives of residents. So in your folder, you've got our annual report. We hadn't been doing one for a while, but when I came over there, I was like, we need to do our best to capture what these programs are. So a lot of these programs reach all 103,000 residents, but a lot of them are focused in the community as well. So just to highlight a few of them, we did an Earth Day litter pickup with our 4-H students up at Nakalula Falls. We had the tomato taste-off down at the 5th Street Market, where we had sort of professional tomato farmers and backyard vegetable growers competing back and forth, and actually the kids from Beautiful Rainbow won the best overall tomato in that contest, which was kind of fun. We partnered with DGI and tourism to deliver hometown hospitality, which is a customer service focused training. And then we also support the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program, that where seniors can go and get a voucher from the state and use that to purchase vegetables at the farmers market. So that's just a few of the many programs we do. So any support you can give us, we appreciate. Mayor Guyton supported us last year, and we really do appreciate that. We get about 38 cents per resident from Etowah County. So I can't think of another countywide agency that does as much with 38 cents per person. So any support you can give us, we'll stretch that even further. So thank you.
All right. Thank you for what you do. Okay. At this time, we have remarks from the council and the mayor. Oh, no, Mr. Sull is still researching, and so when he gets through researching, he'll come and speak with us. So we're back to the remarks from the mayor and council. Mayor, you want to?
I just want to reiterate all the employees with the city. They kept me in line on what we need to do or not do and all that, and the council and all the people on the podium up here. They, everybody has worked together since I've been here, and I really appreciate all of that, because we have got a lot of things going on, and it's going to get better and better, and I have complete trust in these folks that they'll keep right on moving with it. So thank you, and that's about all I'm going to say.
Councilman Williams.
I don't have anything, Madam President.
Councilman Worthy.
I'm gonna just say, go vote, please, today. Go vote.
Councilman Back.
Just wanted to reiterate the go vote and thank the Guyton family for the portrait of the mayor. Mayor, thank you for 16 years of what you've given of yourself and your family to the city and to the citizens. And just it's been a good day at City Hall. We've gotten almost $1 million in grant money, I believe, through engineering department. Thank you, Heath Williamson, for that work, and look forward to more good days like that. Thank you.
Councilman Batt? Councilman Wilson?
Yes, ma'am. We had a lot on the agenda today, and I've kind of tried to make a habit of doing this, so I want to give some clarity on a few of these things. One of the things we passed was we amended the budget to receive some funding to purchase bulletproof vests for the police department. That's 52 bulletproof vests that we're purchasing for the police department. Also, y'all saw we had a public hearing on several different ordinances adopting codes. I hear a lot in the community from certain people about how we tear down houses all the time, or we have a really strict code for this particular part of building a home or maintaining your home. I just want to make it clear that what we adopted today, these 7 or 8 different things, these are the international codes that are accepted by almost every municipality in the United States of America. We are not sitting up here deciding how you build a house or how you plumb a house or how you run electrical through a house. These are international codes that we adopt to maintain our status with our insurance company to make sure that we're building safe homes in our community. So just please understand that we're following international guidelines. These are not our personal opinions about how your home should look. Another thing, speaking of that, with abatements, we abated 3 different homes today. I want to make it clear that 2 homes and 1 cleanup project. Both of those homes were abandoned. They are empty. They are falling in one level or another. And I've heard some comments about how we should be rebuilding these homes and not tearing them down. Councilman Worthy has talked about this at length and there's some legal questions about how we go about doing this. But I would really love it if we had a giant screen up here for you guys. What y'all don't realize is we get a group of pictures passed around here when we address every single one of these abated properties, and you guys would be shocked to see some of the things that we are addressing up here. You would be absolutely shocked to see the conditions of some of these properties that have been abandoned for years and years and years in some cases. And that's where the owners of these properties have completely let them go, just walked away from them. And now you've got neighbors who are reaching out to us saying, please do something. Our community's falling apart. Our street looks terrible because we have these worn down, fallen in houses all over. So again, I want to make it clear that this is a service that we provide to this community to make sure that we aren't overrun with abandoned homes and we don't have all the issues that come from that with rodents and things like that invading the neighbor's property, having less than desirable people occupying these abandoned homes and doing drugs and other illegal activities in there. So there's so many reasons why we do this. I can assure you that nobody in this administration wants to go out and just tear somebody's home down because the paint color's wrong on it. That's just not how it works. One more thing, or a couple more things. The Alabama Power easement that you saw us vote on today, the city of Gadsden owns a section of land around the Gadsden City High School. Gadsden High School is building a brand new baseball, softball complex there. I believe tennis too is a part of that. And Alabama Power needs permission to cross over some of the city's land with power to provide power for the lights at the ball fields and everything. So that we were granting them permission to run those lines over our property so that they could continue with that project. And one of the last things we voted on was this automatic aid agreement between our fire department and local fire departments in the county, other municipalities. A lot of people have said recently that we don't work well with other communities in this county, and I just want to show this as one example that you don't ever really see, where our fire department has agreed to help these other municipalities. If there's a fire close by, we automatically respond. They don't have to ask for it. If it happens in certain areas, we show up. And in often cases, we show up before the local firefighters do because we may be a little closer than they are to these properties. So this is just one of many examples where we work together day in and day out with local municipalities to make everything work the way it's supposed to around here. The last thing, the Extension Service. Eric is really humble, but I'm a personal friend of Eric's, and he didn't mention that while Beautiful Rainbow won Best Overall Tomato at the tomato contest, Eric won the Best Cherry Tomato, I think, personally. So congratulations on that, Eric, although I think the books might have been stacked on that one. I want to recognize these individuals in the Etowah County Extension Office real quick. Miss Peggy Talley, Miss Jennifer Strawn, Miss Jana Lipscomb, Miss Christy Mendoza, Mr. Eric Shavy, Miss Tori Enos, Miss April Woodfin, and of course the director here locally, the Extension Coordinator, Eric Wright. We had a conversation in pre-council today about what we do for youth in this community and whether we could do more for the youth. And I talked about so many different departments and programs in this city that step up and do things. And I just want to run down this quick list to show you guys everything that the Extension Office does for the youth. They have a summer camp program. They have in-school clubs. They have a photography club, the Alabama Water Watch, the animal clubs, the beekeeping club, the Black Creek Archery Club, the Computer Science Club, Cool Kids, the Cooking Club, the Dog 4-H Club, the 4-H Homeschool Club, the Fly Fishing Club, the Forestry and Wildlife 4-H Club, the Horse and Equestrian Club, the Livestock Club, Outdoor Adventure Club, Outdoor Survival Club, the Poultry and Rabbit Club, the Shotgun Club, the Top Shots Rifle Club. This is just one organization in our community that offers almost 25 different programs for our youth, and they do it on 38 cents per resident. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that a community could not exist without organizations like this. So thank you, Eric, and your whole staff for what you guys do. And I want to talk about, finally, Mayor Guyton. It's no secret, I'm a first-term councilman here, so I've had the pleasure of working in this role for the last 4 years. And I think everybody knows Sherman and I haven't always agreed on everything. I've been on the wrong end of that shovel, so to speak, a couple of times. But I want to tell you how much I appreciate, after serving in a public role for 4 years, what it takes and how much you give of yourself for a community, and how much you have to listen to people who don't always understand the challenges that we face as a community, and to have somebody like Sherman who is willing to stay here and show up day in and day out and receive some of the negativity and some of the backlash that he's received. And, you know, we don't always get it right, but I can tell you that he is a true public servant, and he has given a lot to this community, and we have a lot to be thankful for him. And finally, I want to recognize Miss Glenda Jackson again this week. She snuck out on me last week before I could recognize her, but she put together last week. We gave the proclamation to Chief Jagers announcing last week as National Police Week. And Miss Jackson is a resident of my district, and again, I'll say we haven't always agreed on everything, but I am telling you, she is a model citizen. She is somebody who has given of herself for decades to make her community a better place and to make this city a better place. And again, if it wasn't for people like her, we wouldn't be where we are today, and we wouldn't be able to accomplish the things we've been able to accomplish. So I promise that's all I have, Madam President.
Take a breath. Take a breath. Let him breathe.
If there's anything I missed, I went to sleep twice.
I believe that.
Anyway, I do want to remind everybody about Memorial Day next Monday. Sherman, it wasn't last Monday. It is next Monday. And Deborah was absolutely correct. It's at 10 o'clock. At the Falls, at the Memorial, okay? It'll be a memorial service, Gaston Etowah Patriot Association. On that note, I was here the first day you came in, okay? And honestly, 16 years up, and I'm going to repeat this because we've done it 10,000 times. You can't make this stuff up. You can't. I mean, it's like riding a dadgum train. You're just up and down, up and down. But the beauty of it is, we all survived it. I don't know how in the world we did. I swear I don't. I mean, I turned around, you know, and they hit me in the back end, and I know they were hitting you 3 times, and I know the council up here was getting hit, but it's been the most hectic and wonderful time, 16 years. The last 3 wasn't all that nice, but those first 13 were great, and I'm gonna tell you, I personally appreciate, and I kind of like you, and we're gonna keep you. So, thank you for the last 16.
At least he's honest.
Yeah, thank you for the last 16. And I knew you at General Forest in the 70s, so I know you. Thank you, Sherman.
Okay, I just like to say I appreciate your service, and you all know if it's something important that I want to say, I say it first, because after then, I don't have a chance to say anything. So if there's nothing else, I call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.